Hello, and welcome back to 50 to 70.
Episode 104. Hello, how are we? Enjoying this rolling heat wave.
It's excellent.
So good.
As much as I have to hide during the middle of the day,
Yes.
it's still excellent.
It is good. Amazingly, yesterday I was able to get into my Citroën Dujavo and start it with no choke. Just it's that hot.
My car interiors have never been so dry.
Yes, yeah, it's my pre-warmed engine oil just baking away there in itself. So yes, it's so good. Bit cooler here than what it was in Goodwood. Just back from Festival of Speed.
Yeah, it is Foss weekend.
Foss weekend. It was, I'm almost going to say, disgustingly hot there. Not so much that it was extremely hot, but it was literally no breeze, nothing. And I was just like, we were all kind of collectively going, I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
I've seen a lot of talk online of people going, if you're doing Foss, here's some top tips. It's like
Ice cream.
Find shade, find water.
They were running out of ice cream.
Because people were just slathering it on themselves
Pretty-
in an attempt to cool down.
Pretty much. It was like, I was there on the Friday and like, we're out of ice cream. It was like, how? It's Friday. You can't be out of ice cream already.
I saw a brilliant picture of a group of people sitting in a perfect line on the front lawn.
Oh,
because it was the
sculpture.
the shade of the sculpture.
Yeah. Big old sculpture there from Singer this year. They're the main sort of brand, highlighted brand. So basically that means that they've spent the £1 million+ fee that you have to have the sculpture in front of the house, because the Duke, or whatever title he's going
Lord
under.
March.
Lord March is going under. No, he's not Lord March anymore. He has a different title apparently.
Mr. March.
Anyway, yeah, so which is kind of surprising given that Singer isn't let's say a global brand.
Well, they aren't manufactured in the sense of they don't have a separate VIN.
No, but what I mean is they're not like a BMW or a Porsche or a, you know what I mean? It's they're not on that scale. But anyway, they've cut a deal, and they have a few of their cars up in this sort of very, very large sculpture. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff. They had a load of singers there, obviously, but there was a whole load of other brands and lots of supercars and hypercars, as the kids called them.
Yawn.
Some of them were yawn. Some of them were just a bit. I mean, some of them were a bit over the top. Pagani was there, again pushing the, how disgusting can we make our cars look and people will still go nuts for them. So they had a Zonda there of, I don't know. Don't ask me at this point. I can't identify them anymore. You know, what version it was or what group of numbers and letters or wanky name it had attached to the Zonda for its the edition, you know, or whatever it is.
This is the 6th time we've fired up the Zonda printing press.
Yes, yeah. This is definitely the last ever Zonda we're ever going. No, nearly the last Zonda we're ever going to make. And they also had their other one there, which actually a colleague of mine in the UK got quite a lot of roasting over, because he referred to it by allegedly its correct name, which is Utopia, not Utopia as everybody else seems to call it. Because that's what Mr. Pagani himself calls it.
Yep.
So, but apparently he got roasted in the
I
comments.
don't go to Paris.
True, I know. Or Milano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was also there. Not very kind of. I just look at it and I'm like, yeah.
It's better than the Huayra. The Huayra is absolute dog muck. It just looks horrific. I don't understand how people go mad for them. I think they use the shiniest leather that they can find from some wash bag that's been on sale in Boots.
No, they buy, you know, the guys that sell the bags on the towel on the seafronts
Yeah.
in Spain.
Yeah,
Like
that handbag leather is
Yeah.
what Pagani seem to use
Yeah.
in their cars.
Yeah,
I
Turkey's
know
finest.
some people love them. They're not
Yeah.
my jam. I
Yeah.
do like early Zondas up to say an F,
Hmm.
which was, C12, C12S, then I think F. After that, they kind of got a bit OTT for me, and they kept going down that route, and I just never gelled with it. The Utopia, definitely an improvement over the Huayra, and certainly the Huayra BC, but they not my thing.
Yes, that was there. There, actually, the one thing I annoyingly just didn't get to see in all my traversing of Goodwood was Audi had their new Volare supercar there, which initially I was a bit on the fence about, and then I saw some other pictures. They had it in London a few days previously, and it was sort of doing some laps there, obviously doing a bit of filming, a bit of marketing stuff with it down around central London, and seeing it on the road suddenly
Puts it into perspective.
For me, that's always a good test of a car. Is, you see like the fancy studio shots and all that kind of stuff, but when you actually see it driving down the street, I think is when that's the kind of acid test. And I think it looks pretty good. It's definitely, I prefer it to the Lamborghini Temerario that it's based on. Not hard, admittedly, and that's not me hating on Lamborghini. I just think the two of them side by side. The Audi is definitely, I'm not even going to say it's better looking. I think it's the more interesting looking of the two. I don't, there's angles of that Audi that I just look at and go, ooh, that just doesn't, if you look at it dead straight on, head on, I think it looks a bit weird with the way the grill is done and all that kind of stuff. And I know the whole, talk to me about the whole hark back and all that to what it is, but then there's other angles to it, and just the surfacing of it is so industrial design that I fucking really like.
I quite like it from the front and from the front quarters.
Yeah.
I've said before that I don't like what they did with the haunches compared to the C concept.
Yes.
That had a nicer kind of rear deck lid.
Yeah.
And now I think the rear half, it kind of looks like an armadillo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just looks very, very flat versus the concept. If they had had a bit more in it, I would have loved it more. But seeing it move around London, obviously not in person for me.
Yeah.
It's all
all
digital.
It was all over socials and stuff.
It actually did look really cool in person. And then seeing it, again, videos, going up the hill, does look good on the move.
Yeah. Interesting. And only limited run. Was it 1,000 they're making, or possibly less? Anyway, I can't remember off the top of my head. Somebody will no doubt correct me. But yeah, Honda were there. It's like moving tack slightly, with a kind of hints of a Prelude Type R.
Believe.
Yes. Officially the Prelude HRC concept, which I think looks better, but
can we not just have a better Civic Type R? Do we have to keep ruining things?
I know.
Prelude's cool. Leave it be.
Yeah.
Civic Type R, really good. Make another one, please.
Yeah. So controversially, the Lexus were there with their new LFA.
Yes.
Which is now electric. Which, if you're gonna give us another LFA, guys, electric. Come on.
LFB? LFE?
LFB minus.
Come on. You can't stand where he stood.
Yeah, it's the LFA is to me a absolute amazing.
I am in the minority that thing, or shall I say, the small pool of people who think the LFA is far better than the Carrera GT and sounds better.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm not to hate on the Carrera GT, but for me the LFA is just cooler in every metric.
Weirdly the Carrera GT was never that pinnacle car for me. Even in period, I preferred the SLR and stuff and the Ford GT to it. I know that everyone who's driven one goes, oh, it's the best. Nothing drives like it. I'm sure you're correct. But with my eyes and ears, the LFA is better.
Not only that, I still think there's a certain mystique about the LFA, and I think there's also a certain. It's weird that for a car that's been out for as long as it has, and as well known as it is, I still actually think that it's a bit more of the under the radar car.
It is
than a Carrera GT is.
I know, big time, and it is one of them cars that you could nearly get away with it in traffic from regular punters not knowing what it is.
100%. Yeah. You could park it on the road and
Not that that's necessarily the point of a 9,000 RPM V10 supercar, but there's a certain something about it where you go, it is just a bit suave.
Yes, yeah, it's a bit understated, and that's what I like about it. Not so understated. McLaren had the W1 there, which is their next big car. Do you know what? I was a bit underwhelmed by it. I'm sorry. First of all, let me qualify this by I have not driven it. I've not even sat in it. I'm not trying to be the voice on hypercars here, but I'm just talking about.
We are certainly the wrong audience for hypercars.
This is me just in my we're Statler and Waldorfing here on this, but I kind of just look at it and like, I know like technically there's an awful lot of very clever stuff going on with that car aerodynamically and all that. It's just a bit, when you see it, you just go, yeah. Like, it doesn't even have the same wow factor that a P1 had when I first saw that.
It's me towards most modern fast things.
Yeah.
You go, I'm sure you do a very good job, but you don't wail or sound like anything else previous, and they just go cold to me.
Yeah, kind of going in the direction that I guess a hypercar should be, which I thought was one of the more interesting things, was Red Bull, who now have gone full on from making fizzy drinks to fizzy cars. Mm-hmm. So they had their dynamic debut of the Or B17, which is kind of one of the last things Newey did before he left Red Bull, and he was there with the car with Red Bull, which is all a bit awkward.
No, you said you'd be there.
Yeah. The contract says it's not. I thought it would be very Valkyrie 2.0, and when you see it, it is quite different to the Valkyrie and stuff like that. You can sort of see when you look at it from behind down low. You can look through the back of the car, and because it's got this colossal diffuser, and it has you can sort of see the tub of the car. All that looks kind of similar, but it definitely seems a bit longer, and it's got a lot of very interesting bodywork. There's a lot of Formula One car in the side of it, but then this is obviously I guess they want to make it so that somebody is going to put one on the road. Interesting, 4.5 litre V10. Proof that you don't have to go electric to make exciting cars. Who else is there? Roof was there with their new kind of next generation car, which definitely looks a bit interesting looking, I think. 4.8 litre, 8-cylinder. It's called the Boxer 8. And it's kind of, I like that it's still, a Porsche, but it's not a Porsche.
Which historically have only really had 8 cylinders in 2 cars.
Correct. So,
and neither of them Porsche shaped.
Yes.
And a 928.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and a Panamera, sorry. 3.
3, yeah. That was kind of interesting, I guess, to see what they will, what they'll sort of doing with that. It's definitely. It's a little bit like, what was the other, remember they did that, was it the CTR? Was that their?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, you can see the lineage to that there as well. Funny enough though, going back to the LFA for a second there, Toyota were also there with their version of that same car, but
which is ICE.
Which is ICE engines, yeah. So, and it does sound pretty good. It's got really, really great proportions on that thing as well. So this is as you call it, the Gurgit.
Yeah, GRGT.
GRGT. But yeah, that looks very interesting. And I kind of think like Toyota are sort of on a bit of a roll here. Bear in mind they've also got an MR2 coming, which is basically going to have a GR Yaris rear mid-engines. I think basically like they're running a prototype at the prototypes at the moment with effectively it's GR Yari, if that's what you want to call it, plural of them, with the engine in the back, and I'm like, just give me that fucking prototype.
Yeah. Like, it's a very simple idea. That's a great little car, great little engine.
Yeah. But they also are working on a version now. They're going to add do a 4-cylinder version of it as well with that engine. So yeah, lots of very interesting stuff coming from Toyota. Not something we would have said a few years ago.
No. How the turntables.
And then there was a lot of other stuff that I found it very hard to get excited about. Like, Apollo were there with another, like, they're increasingly looking like some sort of Pokemon character in car form with all this kind of stuff. Like, I don't understand who's buying these things, because
people who get someone else to drive their cars for them.
Maybe. What was interesting was Ferrari had a very big presence at the Festival of Speed, and they had a very big public display.
Mm-hmm. Was it missing a car?
There was one car that wasn't on the public display. They had we're up to Amalfi now. They had the Amalfi, which is the latest California.
Yeah.
They had the convertible version of that. They had their their 296 in the Challenge Stradale spec. They had the 849 Testarossa there.
Ooh,
they had, and I was looking around going, something's missing here. Yeah. Oh yes. Their little electric Luce. Now, sorry, they did have one there, but you had to be invited inside into the inner workings, the inner cameras. Sanctums of their. Yeah.
Did you see?
I think that was because it was out of egging distance. So
they came out a few days ago to say that they hadn't anticipated the backlash. You mean Ferrari realized that their shit can in fact stink?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Yeah. You don't like everything we do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell me you're delusional without telling me you're delusional. But they are. They're going to do like what they did with the SP3 Daytona. So they're going to give another very wealthy American an enormous tax break at Monterey Car Week by auctioning off a very special version of the Luce. So, because remember they did that last year. They had the SP3 Daytona that went for 26 million quid for charity. Yeah. I.e., here's a huge tax break for you, and while also pumping up the value of our brand. So they're going to do the same thing again with the Luce, hopefully, I imagine, to try and garner some positive news around the Luce, which they will then spin it as, oh, this is so desirable. Some very wealthy person has decided to write off $15 million in tax to buy the first electric
for a
Luce,
car they'll give to their nanny or whatever, maid or something.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's happening. Another electric car that I feel I have very mixed feelings about was there, which is the new Alpine A110. So yeah, it's going to be electric. What I'm going to say is it's going to be electric initially.
Yeah, they have the architecture to put an engine in it.
This does, and it is very much an evolution in terms of the A110, in terms of design and all that. So they had a prototype, I'm going to say, inverted commas, prototype running up the hill at Goodwood, which was, looks fine, looks like an A110, all that kind of stuff. I think it's close to what you will see when the finished thing comes out. Not hugely mad about it being electric. Happy to be proven wrong. Look, I don't want to come across as being anti-electric in this. Like anyone who knows me knows I'm not. But
When you're at an
I'm
event
a
called
bit-
Festival of Speed, having all the things be powered by batteries and just watch them go past like me, 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 it doesn't hit the same, does it?
Not quite the same. Not
It's different to
quite
it
the
being
same.
on the road, but if you're at an event,
Yeah.
you kind of go, especially when the beast of Turin is there.
Yes.
There's quite
Yeah,
a juxtaposition between,
Yeah.
you know, and it's hard to get excited about the electric stuff when it's not in isolation.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, I think don't write off Alpine yet, because I think they have a bit of potential to do it. Here's one we've also been working on with an engine in it. So
The Le Skunk Works.
Le Skunk Works. Yeah, exactly.
But tangentially,
Yes.
there was a car that I saw run up the hill with its ice grandfather. It's the Renault 5 Turbo 3E.
Yes. Yes. So they had that there. I mean, look, I've seen it a few times now. Like, it does look very impressive in person.
Yeah.
To be honest, I still want the original. But it was so a couple of colleagues were given passenger rides in it at the circuit, kind of down the road, and one of them made an interesting point of because this is obviously it's going to be a fully road going car and all this, and I think the price is somewhere around 150,000 sterling.
I saw
for this.
199, yeah.
Yeah. So, but he just said, "What would I actually use this for?"
Skids.
Yeah, but I get that. But it's an interesting thing in that it's not, let's say, a hypercar or a supercar in that sense. It's when you see the interior of it, there are some nice, some very, actually, I have to say, some incredibly cool played interiors and all that kind of stuff. But you actually look at it, it's the exact same dual screen setup that you get in a Renault 5. It's the same HVAC controls. It's all the same switchgear.
Have you ever
But-
seen the key to a Ford GT?
Yes, I know. I know. But I just wonder who, because it's so outlandish at the same time. Like, it's so wide and all that kind of stuff, but it's still just.
If I could afford a Pagani,
I have a sneaking suspicion that Renault are going to struggle to shift these.
well, there's 1,980.
Yes.
I think they look cool enough that they will sell.
I don't think they'll sell at that price, though.
No, I see your point.
I think it's 70 grand too expensive.
But I think they're just everything's 70 grand too expensive. Chocolate bars are 70 grand too expensive today. Like, come on. Alfredo is one something. What kind of world are we living in? Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Where it's neither at the ultra exclusive. We've only
Yes.
made 200
Correct. Yes.
collectability factor,
It's not a Singer.
and it's not
it's
at the. It's not
911
just a
Turbo.
heightened
Yeah.
Renault 5 either, and it's
Yes.
70 grand. You know.
Yeah.
No,
And the shape of it is not like a 911 Turbo S that you kind of go, which has similar performance and has an engine. Let's be honest. This is fully electric. It's not massive. It's not going to have a massive range. It's going to have enough range. Don't get me wrong, and it's going to be fast charging.
no, it is a toy. It is.
It's
ultimately
very
a
much
toy.
like, I kind of think it's the sort of thing that whoever buys one might buy it, and then after about a week go, right, okay.
But they just look so cool. I love the dimensions
Oh no,
of
no,
it.
yeah,
and-
yeah. It's like it's comic book dimensions,
Yeah.
proportions. It's actually almost square. It's
Yeah,
so
no,
wide, and it's
it's
not especially long. So, but I look at it, and you could buy the original Turbo 2 and have change.
You could buy a couple from the back catalogue, all right, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, and anyway, I have very mixed feelings about that car.
I love that it exists.
Yeah. I wonder, could Renault have gotten away with just making one as a, like the Espace
or like
F1
like
engined Espace.
there's two of them. One's a replica, but like the
You know what I mean?
the Golf
though?
W12.
Yeah.
We've made 5.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that's why I kind of wonder.
Was it like Mattress said, no, we're not firing up the carbon fiber printing press unless you make at least 1,000.
They could have made 5. I mean, that would be the thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We're making 5, and that's it. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'd be I mean, it does seem to be bonkers.
Well, yeah, the in-wheel motors are capable of
Oh yeah, like
ridiculous.
There's a lot of really great tech in this as well. Like so, but yeah, I'm still a bit maybe not so sure. But yeah, any other highlights you figured that anything else that you saw? Although I know you weren't there, but
See, I tend to gravitate towards watching the older stuff go up the hill.
I know, yeah.
Nick, who is sometimes here at our Cars and Coffees, he was posting a couple of videos.
Yes,
he got passenger rides in some of McRae's rally cars.
Cool.
That looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's the type of Goodwood that I'm there for. The old stuff that you won't get that experience anywhere else.
That's very true. Yeah, like every year I go there, I'm continually amazed at how they just pull all this stuff together. Like there must be, I imagine the logistics must be a nightmare of getting, because there is stuff coming from every corner of the world. So yeah, it just looks very, very cool though. So well done to them for pulling it off. I think it's a bit too big of an event though.
Did you drive anything?
No, didn't do. I was only there for the day this time, so I didn't get a chance to do any driving. I didn't have time. But to be honest, for example, like I was messaging Ian Beattie from Mondello Park, who's there this weekend driving the Ford C100 that they have there, and I was saying to him, like, I don't envy you in that car, in your
sitting in the paddock,
in your overalls,
in the queue for an hour.
Yeah, and that is the thing. So like when you do that run at Goodwood, you effectively, like, so it's say, call it whatever, 90 seconds up the hill.
Yours was less.
Mine, yeah, but you know what I mean. It's that kind of thing. But
yeah, you then sit for an hour.
That whole process takes. You lose about 2.5 hours doing.
Yeah.
From the moment you go, okay, we're going to start doing it now, because what happens is you got to get into your car, and depending on where you are, you get brought down to like a staging paddock. So everyone gets grouped into the one paddock. So to get your group together, and then typically they might have 1 or 2 groups together, and then when there's a break in the hill climb, they'll bring you down the hill to another paddock before the start of it that you loop around in, and then you go back up, and then you queue up and line up, and then if somebody has whatever, if somebody's gone off or they need to do something, or they're allowing track crossings and all that kind of stuff, and then you get in. Eventually you're like, you get G'd up again, and you're like, right, you're strapped in, you go up the hill, you get up to the top, and then you're in the top paddock then for another, you could be there for another half hour easily. So, and then you got to wait, then to get back down, to get back in, then get back in, navigate back to your actual garage / paddock space. So it does take a considerable amount of time, and to have to be in your fireproofs, overalls, helmet, all that kind of stuff on and off for that amount of time in that heat, I'd be like, no, I'm all right, thanks. So, but it is a cool experience to getting to go up the hill. It's definitely narrower than you think it is when you're going up there.
Big time.
And I still remember the very first time I did it years ago, coming up where the flint wall is, and it's like, oh shit. Yeah, and even though you see it coming, you're like, oh god, oh god, oh god. So,
yeah, it's one thing when you're looking and there's big patches of grass and hay bales. You go, I don't want to hit them, but at least they're there.
Yeah.
When that becomes a wall, even the slightest touch.
Yes, yeah. And then I've never certainly never tried to set a time or anything like that. It was just any time I've done the hill climb, it's purely just been to get to the top, and that's it.
Don't be a hero.
When you see the guys like the Kenny Brack in an F1 GTR like at 11 tenths, and
Yeah.
you're like, fuck me, that like, no,
There's a cutout in the seat.
yeah, yeah, that is just like whole other level of stuff. But yeah, no, it was pretty good. So what else has been going on with you?
Well, weirdly, so I've been watching all the Goodwood stuff,
Yeah,
and I don't know if it. I'm sure if I was there, I'd have said it's the best thing ever. Mm-hmm. But not being there, it's the first year in a while where I haven't had FOMO.
right. Yeah,
And I don't know if that's just kind of sad. I don't like. I want it all to be the best, and I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
But yet, I was watching it going, yeah,
yeah.
I'm not overly disappointed I wasn't there. Really looking forward to. Now this is the true sad part. Really looking forward to Techno Classica, which is in
Yes.
September
Yeah,
in Germany.
we better get planning for that.
Kind of half looking forward to the NEC in Birmingham in November, which is nothing special at all. It was just an enjoyable day out. But Techno Classica,
Surfing.
the tat there, better tat at, or there was in Essen last year. But no, it just, I love being on the continent at a car show. It's the best thing. So really looking forward to Techno Classica. But even close to that is we have Photo coming up in just about 2 weeks' time.
Festival of the Unexceptional. Yes.
Dying for, can't wait.
Yeah.
Haven't been. I'm not, despite outward appearances, I'm not a diehard on Total Chod.
Right. Yes.
I like the oddballs, but
Yeah.
a Carina, scrap them as far as I'm concerned. They're. I don't care for them. I don't
Yeah.
have any childhood memories of them. I want to see a Clio MTV edition. I want to see a third gen Espace, a Laguna Concorde, a K10 Micro. Cool, it's preserved, but I wouldn't beeline towards one.
Yes.
In the same way that some of the other people going. And there is a couple of Irish fellas going. We have a couple going, and then there's some of the guys. If you're on Instagram, Christopher's Cars and stuff like that, they're apparently
Gonna be
trying to make their way over as
Yeah.
well. And I think there's some other people from some of the Facebook groups driving as well.
Okay.
And I know that they are far more down that rabbit hole than I am.
Yeah, yeah,
But I haven't been, and it's going to be good. And there's a Smith and
Yeah,
Sniff live
I've
show
never
at
been
it,
to it either, yeah,
which
yeah.
our tickets include. We can just sit and listen to
Yes. Yeah.
Smith and Sniff talk drivel.
Excellent.
So really looking forward to that. That's in Grimsthorpe Castle, and if the weather is like it has been, that'll be a mega day out. And we're doing Birmingham the day before just to mosey about, and
We have to plan that, don't we?
flights are booked.
Okay. Yes.
Other than where we're sleeping, which
Yes.
all of the hotels in the area are sold out, there's not much to plan.
No.
Mosey, just wander,
Yeah.
look at things,
Yeah.
bridges and canals and the usual Birmingham
All that
and
kind of
shit.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that, but I've been driving. I had got to be behind the wheel of Dean Motors have a Ford Galaxie. You may have seen.
This looks good.
I did make a little short reel about it just because I totally fell for this car. I like a Galaxie anyway. Usually in old American tat, Chevy is my go-to, almost exclusively. But a Galaxie 500 is just... there's something about them. There always has been. The Cray twins had one, and they're just... You've seen them at Goodwood, at the Historics.
Yeah.
Just chasing down a Mini with a four-wheel slide going on, and they just look amazing. The Galaxie was the four-door, and it's spelled IE, not Y. The Y is the people carrier.
Yes.
The IE is the American because space race, they launched in the late 50s. The normal Galaxie is a four-door.
Yeah.
Tall roofline, a bit like a Rover P5B, and then the Galaxie 500 is the two-door.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like the P5B coupe, where they just took a couple of inches down on the roofline and smoothed out the rear bit. So you've got the 500 XL, that's the big one. Now, there wasn't the
No
biggest...
shit. The one called a 500 XL is the big one.
500, completely
Those
irrelevant.
Americans, they're so nuanced, aren't they?
It hadn't got a 500. It actually had a 390, which is a 6.4 litre. But you get a 427 with triple carb, or double quadra carbs, so eight chambers. But this was just a regular 390.
Yeah.
But it was blue, and it had a turquoise interior, and all the metalwork on it is just so not ornate, but fabulous.
Yes,
is the word. And it the horn is like from an old movie, and it just driving around this thing was the coolest. It's got wind down pillarless windows, and even the quarter light is on a winder. So you just wind the handle, and the quarter light tilts around all the way, perfectly directing air into you, and it's just...
Yeah.
I could drive this car till the end of time. And everywhere I went in it, everyone was coming, like, beeping in traffic, like, trying to get your attention from a couple of lanes over, trucks oncoming. Yeah. If I was in a Ferrari, I would have had less attention.
Sure, yeah.
And this was a 63, so American stuff of that era. Every year they would change how it looks.
Yes.
Not slightly, not a facelift, different front end.
That's how you have this is a one of one.
And so a 63 is one of my favourite years of Galaxies. It's got the quad lamps up front, and it's got the turbine rear lamps. 64 was cool as well. They kind of went a bit more square with the lamps, but 63 is the year I would have. Yeah, God, I'd keep that car forever and ever and ever. Everything, just seeing the interior, amazing. So that was my very good consolation prize for not being at Goodwood.
Constellation prize?
Oh, God.
Come on. No?
But
no?
Even the script, so like how Fuel is written, and it's all just this
the
brilliant
fonts
space
and
race,
jet
age stuff.
Yeah.
And it shows how far ahead America was then.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of other countries in manufacturing and in just, standings, and how that's vastly changed. By the time they got to the late 70s, that table had already,
yes,
completely turned around. But at that moment, they were some of the most just fabulous cars in the world. But yeah, so I enjoyed my time with the Galaxie immensely.
Yeah, very
until
cool
I had to give it back.
Very cool car, yeah. Ah, yes, that's us. Well, I've been enjoying my Dujavo has been the last couple of days using it, roof down, phenomenal.
Yeah, the Mini's still being unruly.
I don't want to. I want to ask, but I don't want to ask. But
I've made some small chiropractic adjustments.
It's like when somebody has a terminally ill, fucking family member.
Are they gone yet?
Yeah.
No, time poor this week, didn't get to us as much as I'd have liked to. Got some progress, but we are essentially in the same place we were last week.
Okay. Some people have been asking about Cars and Coffee. We're working on another Cars and Coffee date, but there's just so many things happening in the calendars and diaries and blah, blah, blah that we're just trying to see.
Yeah,
so
there's a couple of shows coming up that we said we'd make it to that rule out certain weekends, and then we're away, which also rules out certain weekends.
We don't want to deliberately put something on when somebody else is having an event on and stuff like that. So we're working on it. Watch this space.
But speaking of working on it, perhaps as a consolation prize for you, the listener, if we can make it happen, would love to do the quiz, the pub trivia.
Yes, table quiz.
Car anorak table quiz. It's the perfect weather to have an evening event. If some of you can give us numbers on this, we will try and make it happen sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
In between the next couple of weeks of not being able to have a Cars and Coffee. So instead of meeting in the morning, we can meet in the evening and do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe like a Thursday after work.
Something along those lines. Get in the DMs. Let us know. I might put up a poll just to kind of streamline people who might be interested. But if you hear this after the fact, just drop a message.
Yes. And again, the stickers available if you'd like to support us. Helps us when we're organising, because there's a lot of time and effort goes into organising some of these things that we don't necessarily get paid for. So you can always support the podcast by logging on to the little link that's in our Instagram. If you go into our Instagram bio at 50 to 70, you'll see there's a link and you can buy some 50 to 70. They come in a pack of 2. You can buy multiple packs if you want.
Or if stickers aren't your thing and you still want to support, drop us a like or a subscribe
or a comment
or a
or whatever.
review on
Follow
wherever
us.
you're listening.
That's it. That's all you have to do. And that doesn't cost you a penny. That's just being kind. Being kind, remember, costs nothing.
Or share it to someone else.
Yes. Yep.
Take
Tell
your
a friend.
partner's phone and download it on their phone.
That's it. Yes. Or if you're doing, if you're going on a Tesla test drive, go onto their infotainment system and open up Spotify and subscribe and then download all the episodes. I definitely have never done that. But that's it. We're going to wrap it up because it's far too sunny and we have cars to drive. And get out, enjoy the sun, put your sun cream on, make sure you stay hydrated. And we will talk to you next week. I'm at Lord Humphreys on Instagram.
At Work Cooper S.
And as ever, it's at 50-70. And we'll talk to you then.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the 50 to 70 podcast, brought to you in association with 3FE Coffee. You can get all your coffee needs sorted by visiting 3fe.com.